Initiating Characterpedia sequence. Punisher.
Frank Castle is the former Marine who became the anti-hero the Punisher, waging a one-man war on crime after his family were killed by the Mafia. This vigilante operates outside of the moral code of most superheroes in his quest to protect the innocent and punish criminals permanently.
Origin and history.
Marine Captain Frank Castle was a decorated Vietnam War hero and dedicated family man. As an exceptionally skilled combat veteran, he would win the Bronze and Silver Star, as well as receive 4 Purple Hearts. However, the life of this heroic soldier would take a horrible turn whilst he was on leave in New York. During this time, Castle would take his family for a picnic in Central Park, where they witnessed a mob murder. Wishing to ensure no witnesses at the scene, the mobsters would eventually kill Castle's wife and 2 young children. Despite surviving his wounds, Castle's whole world was shattered and his misery was compounded when the police investigation regarding his family's death was infiltrated by the same criminals who committed the murders. As a result, Castle went AWOL from the Marines, disappearing for months. When he re-emerged, it was as the vigilante named Punisher, who commenced a one-man anti-crime campaign throughout New York City. Equipped with an arsenal of weapons, the Punisher extracted his revenge on the mob gang who killed his family, but did not stop there. He vowed to kill all criminals of every kind and embraced his new role as the Punisher, keeping a war journal with entries for each one of his vendettas.
Physical appearance.
The Punisher's appearance is determined by his crime-fighting needs, and his attire is selected for function rather than style. He is often depicted as wearing black military apparel with a white skull across the chest. In addition to this, he will often wear a bulletproof vest and combat boots for footwear. Some of his early costumes incorporated white gloves and boots to match the skull, whilst others saw him add a headband to the costume.
Powers and abilities.
Despite not having any superhuman powers, the Punisher is a highly trained and skillful combatant. As a seasoned veteran, he has undergone SEAL, UDT, and LRPA military training. In addition to this, the Punisher has extensive training using explosives and tactical weapons, as well as small arms and large caliber guns. Aside from being an expert in all types of firearms, Punisher is an expert in numerous forms of martial arts and a highly skilled hand-to-hand combatant. His rigorous training routines have maintained his peak physical condition, and his tolerance to pain is exceptionally high. Further to his impressive physical conditioning, Frank Castle possesses great mental strength and can completely control his mind.
Fighting style.
The Punisher will always employ ruthless tactics when administering his brand of vigilante justice. Some of his methods include assassination, kidnapping, extortion, coercion, torture and interrogation. It is his brutal modus operandi and willingness to kill which have allowed him to be more successful in his battles with hardened criminals. Aside from his lethal methods of engagement, the Punisher is highly skilled in multiple forms of armed and unarmed combat.
Weapons and equipment.
In order to successfully execute his one-man war on crime, the Punisher has a continuously evolving arsenal. He most commonly uses machine guns, rifles, handguns, shotguns, knives, grenade launchers, armor-piercing bullets and explosives. His weapons are customized with tactical scopes, night vision scopes, silencers and tripods. The Punisher's Kevlar uniform offers him great protection from most gunfire, and the large white skull on his chest draws criminal fire to his heavily armored body as opposed to his unprotected head. Finally, the Punisher possesses an armoured high-speed combat vehicle dubbed Battle Van, which is equipped with advanced computer technology, weaponry and ammunition.
Weaknesses.
Due to the fact that the Punisher is not a superpowered vigilante, he is susceptible to physical injury and diseases. As a result, he needs to rely on his ingenuity when battling superhuman opponents.
Allies.
The Punisher's most trusted ally was David Lieberman, aka Microchip, who served as the brains behind the Punisher's weapons and equipment. Although he has come into conflict with numerous superheroes, the Punisher has also collaborated with various individuals. Some of these include Spider-Man, Daredevil, Black Widow, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Captain America.
Enemies.
Technically, any criminal can be considered the Punisher's enemy. Some of his most frequent targets have been the Italian and Russian mafias, the Japanese Yakuza, Chinese triads, biker gangs, drug cartels, and even corrupt cops. The Punisher has also targeted anyone involved in organised crime, drug dealers, street gangs, muggers, killers, and rapists. Some of the Punisher's most notorious enemies have included the Costa crime family, Billy Russo, aka Jigsaw, Kingpin, Barracuda. Furthermore, the Punisher's actions have brought him into direct conflict with several costumed heroes, such as Spider-Man and Daredevil. Ultimately, the Punisher's ruthless methods in his war on crime earn him more enemies than allies.
Significant moments.
Origin of the skull symbol. During his second tour of duty in the Vietnam War, Castle was promoted to the rank of sergeant and became an elite sniper. At some point, he was ordered to hunt down an enemy sniper known as the Monkey, who wore a monkey's skull around his neck for good luck. Castle would later be captured by this antagonist, but during his escape, he tied a dead Vietnamese soldier to a tree and painted a white skull on his chest as a message to his opponent. Eventually, Frank Castle would kill the Monkey during a sniper duel in the jungle and claim his skull for a symbol by painting it on his own chest. Creating Jigsaw. After obtaining information about the Costa family, who were the mobsters responsible for murdering his family, Castle would interrupt a party, killing everyone but a hitman they sent to kill him, named Billy Russo. Frank Castle would defenestrate this vain assassin, disfiguring his face, which would see him adopt the new persona of Jigsaw and become one of Punisher's greatest foes. Early encounters with Spider-Man. The villain known as the Jackal would hire the Punisher and manipulate him into killing the alleged criminal Spider-Man. Eventually, Castle would realise his error, learning that the Jackal had murdered his gun supplier and former fellow Marine, the Mechanic. The Punisher would vow vengeance on the Jackal and would eventually form an unlikely alliance with Spider-Man in order to capture the villain known as the Tarantula.
This file terminates here. End sequence.